Atlantic, and Columbus is, and most years I would probably take Columbus over Atlantic, but I'll take Atlantic. You know what? I'll take the Pinko spread on Atlantic by 10. Columbus will play a close game, but Atlantic is a little bit better this year.
All right. Aquinas versus Western. This one, Western's not a bad team, but of course the question here is with St. Thomas Aquinas, they're clearly top 2 in the state and right there with Lakeland. So Western probably is stepping into a matchup that they're going to be huge underdogs in, and Pinkos has Aquinas by 25. I'm going to go slightly under on that. I'm going to take Aquinas by 17.
Right. I mean, I'm going to take Aquinas. I'm going to take Aquinas by 21. I mean, Western has not played the best schedule in the world, and I think it's going to catch up to them here. And in this case, I think this is a game that it's just Aquinas is just totally dominated, and I just don't know if Western will show up for this one.
All right. Plantation versus Douglas. Pinkos. I'm going to take the same spread. Plantation by 17.
Give me Plantation by 3 touchdowns.
Okay.
And it's because I say this because Douglas hasn't played anybody this year. So
American Heritage Delray versus Gulliver Prep. Pinkos has Gulliver by 24. I expect Delray to put up a little bit bigger of a fight. I'm going to take Gulliver by 14.
I'm going to take Gulliver by 17, and I would have thought at the start of the season, this would have been a dogfight. American Heritage Delray would beat Gulliver, but it's not the answer. Gulliver is a legitimate top tier team in Class 4A this year, and they're going to give some people some fights. So Gulliver Prep, they finally have got some talent back in the door, and where there's in their back pocket. So it's give me Gulliver and give me 2 by 17.
All right, and for the last of our Week 11 preview games, the Soul Bowl between Dillard and Ely. Pinkos has Dillard by 17. I'm gonna take Dillard by 10.
Give me Dillard. Give me Dillard by 12.
All right, that sounds. Yeah, I can agree with that one. And now before we head out, we're gonna quickly hit on some college and pro football games. Obviously, the big matchup in our area, which we'll get to briefly after we go through one game of the Big 12. West Virginia, Baylor. I'm taking Baylor 14.
Baylor's looking good. Give me those Baylor Bears by 17. Actually.
All right. Florida versus Georgia. What is this? The biggest tailgate party or cocktail party or something? I keep forgetting what they call it.
Well, the world's largest cocktail party is what they've called it for years, but they frown upon using that now. So. the old timers still like to call it that, but
I'm going to take Florida by 10 here. They exercise some demons and put themselves in the driver's seat of the SEC West. Well, East.
I mean, the SEC East, yeah, and this is going to be, let me, it really, I'm going to show my Gator homerism here in a moment. But it's a big thing, but here that's who I think is going to win.
A spread on this?
Go Gators.
You said the spread earlier. You said 17?
I think I'm gonna take the Gators by 17. I feel like after South Carolina beat Georgia in overtime, I feel like that was kind of like a sign saying, you know what, Georgia's been exposed. I think Kyle Trask is going to come in there and he's going to have one of the biggest games of his career. That's the platform's been set. Florida's going to be almost like 100% healthy, which would be like a first at any point this season that they've been fully healthy. Minus Felipe Franks, who's out for the season, but I'm talking about just with the active roster be 100% healthy, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, I don't know. People want to say Georgia's better than Florida. Well, I don't know. This what this year's starting to remind me like? 2006.
Well, of course,
What happened? What happened in 2006?
I believe they lost to someone in the SEC West, and then they went on to win the SEC and the national title.
We lost to Auburn that year, and we won the SEC East. We won the SEC title. Yep, and we won a national championship over a school that no one predicted us we would beat, Ohio State. So there you go. So.
I also will say, like, when I look at Georgia, I watched their Notre Dame game, and I could tell from watching that, I was like, this is definitely not the same Georgia team that I was hearing about going into the season.
Right, and it's definitely it definitely has shown up.
This one's a American Conference game. SMU and Memphis. SMU's been hot all year. They looked good the one time I got to check them out. I'm gonna go SMU by 13 here.
You know, SMU is looking pretty good, and I'm surprised with how well SMU. Give me SMU by 10.
All right, Oregon versus USC. I'm going to take Oregon by 2 touchdowns here.
Give me 2 touchdowns and a field goal on Oregon.
So 17.
Yes.
And for another big time rivalry game happening in the state of Florida, the Miami Hurricanes versus Florida State. 2 teams that overall this year, quite frankly, have struggled in very different ways, but struggle nonetheless. I feel like going this game, though, I'm going to take the one that's probably of the two. From what I've seen with the 2 teams, I'm going to take the team that's looked slightly better than the other. I'm going to take Florida State by 4.
You know, this is a tough one. Florida State and Miami. Florida State and Miami. Who do I go with? Because both teams are just not, or both teams are like on par with each other this year. Well, Florida is kind of like way out ahead here. You know what? Give me. I mean, this is a question. This game's in Tallahassee, I believe, right? Yes. Oh man, this is a tough one. Because which team do I really think is better? Neither one is saying better. No one's yelling, flashing. The light bulb is the flashing light of the exit sign is going off. Hey! The exit here sign is not flashing right this second, which tells me this is good. All right, because someone's going to get mad at me no matter which one I take. Between Miami and FSU, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. All right. Heads for Miami, tails for Florida State. Which
You're actually going to do a coin flip?
Heads for Miami. Miami by 1 in overtime.
I guess we shall see. Okay, before we hit in the NFL real quick, I saw the NCAA made that they said they were going to be working on this new legislation, like changes for the pay for play thing. It sounded like they were going to be going in favor of allowing it, which I believe will open the door for NCAA football return soon. But I guess we could say I did kind of predict this on an earlier podcast that it was only going to be a short while before the NCAA would cave in to the pressure of potentially losing several states out to this rule. But it's good to see they're willing to work with it and make something happen.
Right. Absolutely. You know.
All right. For the NFL, we'll start off with the London game. Texans versus Jaguars. I got Jaguars by 3.
You know, I think that's going to be a thing. It's definitely, the Jaguars have always done well in London, and I'm going to actually take. You know what? This is a game. We've been able to beat Houston. I think this might be Houston's first time coming to play an international game over in London. I just give me the Jaguars. Give me the Jaguars by 7. I like a touchdown here. I like a touchdown. It's Duval.
How soon until Foles is supposed to be back?
Gardner. Hey, it's Gardner Minshew mania. The Jaguars would be stupid if they bench Gardner Minshew when Nick Foles comes back week 11.
Oh, that's when he's supposed to come back?
That's when he'll be available.
Okay. Bears versus Eagles. I'm going to take the Eagles by 6 here. And it's also a playoff rematch, too, from first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, it's I mean, that particular matchup itself, it's kind of like, I mean, with the Bears and Eagles, I mean, it's like, I want to take the Bears, but I want to take the Eagles. I mean, I made the mistake last week of taking Buffalo in a pick 'em poll. I'll take the Eagles, and I'll take the spread that you've got by 6.
All right, Vikings Chiefs. Obviously, with
this one's a tough one.
Yeah, because early in the season, before the season, this probably been a very easy pick to make. But with the quarterback for the Chiefs, dang it, I guess brain fart or whatever, because I cannot remember his name for some reason. The Chiefs quarterback. Yeah. Well, anyway, with him being Mahomes. Yeah, Mahomes, with him being basically having injury troubles this year, it's really put the Chiefs in a bad spot. I do feel like they get a slight rebound this week with a field goal win, or at least win by a field goal margin. I'll take the Chiefs by 3 here.
Yeah. I mean, I like the Chiefs in this one too. It's just because it's at home, and hey, if you can just win by 3, hey, you're good. Hey, as long as you have one more point than the other team, you win.
I believe this is the Sunday night game. Patriots versus Ravens. The Patriots have basically just been on a tear through the teams they played so far. I believe Buffalo is really the only close game. I'm going to take Patriots to pretty much dominate here. I'm going to take them by 17.
Yeah, that would be the Patriots are just dominate everything. Give me the Patriots by 24.
And the Monday night game. This was a game that I early on was about to lean to an upset, but I just can't see it. Giants versus Cowboys. I'll take the safe pick. I'll take Cowboys by 10.
Give me the Cowboys by 14 with 2 Zeke touchdowns.
All right. Wow. Well, definitely hit on some pretty good topics today, and for sure. We're about to be closing out for tonight here. Thank you for all our viewers for joining in for the 792 Florida Sports Podcast. Also, a special announcement starting next week. We're going to have every playoff game projected, our picks from 1 through 8A, and we'll have some future announcements in the near future. Also, thank you for Joshua Wilson for joining us on as a guest today. And you got any last words before we head off?
Just visit FloydHSFootball.com for your football fix and flag football fix in the spring for girls flag football if you're interested in that. But and the FLA HS Football on Twitter.
All right, that's all, folks, for today. Thank you for tuning in.